If I've learned anything from movies, never trust a puzzle box.
Why don't you tell me someone is loving you? 'Cause you're my girl. Some say it's no longer true. They're saying some slick continental dude.
6 people get mysterious packages, a black puzzle box, and once they solve it, they get a voucher to go try out this escape room with a $10,000 prize at the end. Which, if you ask me, you're a damn cheapskate if you can only give someone $10,000. I mean, come on, Total Drama Island had $100,000 as a prize, and that was a cartoon! The opening scene is going to be an easy gripe for any critic, because it's a clear flash forward into a future event, and spoils a pretty big moment late in the film at the very beginning. I do not like it when films do that, and I do not see what the purpose is. It only sets us up to understand what happens later, and we're anticipating certain things to go wrong for other characters, if this is the situation. So, that's one problem. Another is that the movie is very boring for several minutes as it introduces bland characters. They do turn out to be a bit better after you get to know them in the escape room setting. Some of them do. It's also kind of bizarre that only 3 characters were introduced in these opening moments, and there are 6 characters in the escape room. Though, to be fair, the less I see of Danny, the happier I am, because he is by far the worst character in the film. I absolutely hate him. He is supposed to represent the gamer, and it's very insulting. I am a gamer, and I have done both video games and tabletop RPGs. It's really a pain in the ass when people misrepresent us as being people lost in our own fantasy world, incapable of really understanding when we're in actual danger, and referring to things like they were real. I know all the escape rooms that Danny was talking about. They are mobile apps. And referring to a game master, that is a term used in tabletop RPGs, and I have yet to see that used in escape room settings. Now, I haven't played a lot of these real world or in real life games, like murder mysteries or things like that, so maybe the term is used in other places, but in this setting, it's a damn irritation because he completely is in faith that he is in no danger whatsoever, and all of this that's going on around him is just for show. That is very irritating to me. But I had to admit that one of the things that kind of makes up for that, slightly, is that Jason and Amanda are some really good characters. They're well-rounded, they have a good history, and they do offer some strength to the film, though I am irritated by Zoe. It's not so much what she does, it's what she doesn't do. She's not a very interesting character, but she is clearly going to be the main character and the one who clearly survives at the end. It was very easy to predict, and that goes to show just how poorly written part of this movie is that when you can figure some of this stuff out well in advance. I really hate it when something is so cliched that before the film really gets going, I can tell certain things are going to happen ahead of time. I know that someone who doesn't want to talk about their past is going to have to talk about their past. I know that someone who is having trouble with a fear is going to have to face that fear. I know that someone who is a shut-in and a social outcast is somehow going to be the one that survives everything, especially when she's going to college, because she's going to naturally be the most intelligent one. And yet, we've got people that we're supposed to root for who do really stupid things. Like, why is everyone being silent when they find something very important? Or starting to put together pieces of a puzzle, coming up with clues that are vital to someone's survival? Why are people touching things instead of examining the entire room ahead of time, when touching things is how the traps begin to activate? Despite these aggravating problems, It's a deceptively good film. The reason I watched the movie is the same reason everyone did. You wanted to see the rooms. They are diverse, beautiful, and intelligently designed. Everyone in attendance is going to be looking for clues, trying to guess the solutions to the puzzles before the characters do. People are going to be drawn in by the different themes and unique challenges. I'm not much of a style over substance critic. I really do not like that kind of filmmaking, which is part of the reason I have trouble with giallos. But I have to admit, in this setting, I'm starting to warm up to the idea. And there is substance to this film because they're using the character's history, these events that they were able to survive, as a means of pushing them to their limit. They're using their history against them. The movie has an immersive experience that has a more polished look to its environments and more elaborate traps than that in the Saw franchise, but that's because they're trying to achieve two different things. Saw is trying to terrify you and tear down its victims. This one is sort of like a murder mystery, but you're solving the mystery as people are basically dying in these traps. I also have to admit that the PG-13 rating is something that normally would hamper movies, but this movie uses it to its advantage by not having very gory scenes or very hideous deaths. It is actually working to its benefit because these very beautiful and very stylized rooms are going to draw in huge crowds. And since you're not going to have people that have as big of an age restriction, you're going to get more people in who want to see movies like Saw, but really can't because of their age. So I could see that working to the film's benefit, and it really did. In its opening weekend, it made back double its budget. And when you consider this $9 million investment grossed $155 million worldwide, you can expect that you're going to get a sequel. For my part, I gripe about the characters, but not all of them are bad. I'm definitely going to gripe about cliches and things that are predictable, but this film is more style over substance. It's not completely style and a lack of substance, it's just leaning more towards its visual and environmental appeals. So, with that in mind, the movie manages to be better than the Belko experiment, but combines the Belko experiment and Saw for a very unique film, more for its style than anything else. So I give it a 7 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.